This is for the book lovers. Hi, I'm Nabuire.
Hi, I'm Marcella.
Hi, I'm Washera, and welcome to Bookish Banter. This is episode 5, and today we're going to discuss Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi. Karibuni!
Welcome. So, Purple Hibiscus is or was Chimamanda's very first book. And it's also one of my favorite books that she has written. So before we get into the ratings, just to give a synopsis. So it's a very religious heavy book. So it's a family of 4, father, mother, and 2 children, boy and girl, Yaya and Jaja. Jaja and Kambili. And then their parents. The father is very, very influential because he's a publisher of the Standard, and he's also a very big man in the Catholic Church. So these are the times of missionaries and everything. So he's now the dad was raised by a very traditional man. By traditional, I mean religiously. He believed in the gods and worshipped the gods and all that. And then the son, Eugene, who's Papa in this case, was raised sort of by missionaries. So now he was moved to learning about the Catholic way, about religion, and it's something that he really took and made it part of himself and who he was. There was no way you could separate them. And because of that, he was trying to teach his kids the same thing, this is religion, but in the harshest way possible. So he believed that only he could be right, only his religion and what he practiced could be right. And because of that, he shunned his dad because he believed he was a pagan because of his traditional beliefs. He had extreme punishments for his children, and he believed that his children could be nothing but the absolute best. So there was so much fear in the walls of his home. His kids were raised with fear. His wife was just surrounded with so much fear because it was only his way. You can only speak when you're spoken to and just give blessings here and there. I feel like he abused Catholic ways and practices just to justify some of his strictness. And also he did not have room to think that anything else could exist with his beliefs at the same time. And also he had so much sort of hatred with himself and his culture and where he came from, because he's those types of people who he'd say a word or two of Igbo because Igbo is where he came from, but he'd prefer, let's speak English, or let the fathers speak to you in Latin type of thing. He gave them superiority type of thing. Yeah, and then he had his sister who they sort of had a falling out because, again, of the dad and the dad's beliefs. So this book just goes deep into the family and the how they interact, and also how you're treated when you're a rich African man, where people put you on a pedestal and they'll never look too close into you. Yes, so that is a summary. And I'll just go ahead and give my rating, which I'd say would be, for me, it was written very well and I really love it, and it's my favorite book, so I'd give it a 5. What do you think?
5 stars. Okay, that's the highest rating you've given so far, actually. Nice. Okay, I also loved the book a lot. It was well written. It pressed buttons that it was yeah. So I'll start with the rating. I'll give it, I want to say, a 4.3. It was a very good book. I don't want to say I enjoyed reading it. It was a good read, but it had a lot of triggers. So it was a lot. And just seeing how Jaja and the sister Kambili, yeah, they were silenced in that house. They had to tiptoe around their dad, and because of that, they also had to tiptoe outside of their world, which made now Kambili not even have friends in school. And I feel like also the dad, I don't think he did these things maliciously. He truly believed that he was punishing these kids, which was so crazy to me because I wish he didn't believe it. Like earlier alikuwa anajua this is it, and I found that was the saddest part because it's something that we see even in our country, especially people like wako kwa dini sana, that they do crazy things because they truly believe, like the Shakahola story,
Yeah.
like
I
you
think it's
starve
also
yourself to
like
death.
religious hypnosis where like you're just in your own world, and like especially like if you start like putting somebody on a pedestal, case in point Shakahola, like you believe everything this person says.
Is
You
it
don't have
true?
any room to question. Akisema tu sasa we're going to drink, we're no longer drinking water. It's like yes, it has been said,
Yeah,
that's the
amesema,
word.
and that's the
Yeah.
only thing ameongeleshwa na Mungu direct. So I felt a bit of sadness, like for this person to have gone through, but to have gone through life like that, hurting the people he loved, and also the love seats where he'd give his kids a sip of nini to
Of
show
his tea.
love. Yeah, so it's someone who loved his family, but I guess because of that hatred and bitterness and just trying to kuingia I guess moving from being this traditionalist to colonial mindset was a bit challenging for him, I guess. And you see, when you're learning something new, sometimes you can go on the extremes and then you do crazy things. So I think they experienced him that way, which I felt very sad for them and very angry at him for beating his wife. And then there's this scene where he beats his wife, and then the wife is they go to church. The wife is pregnant. She's sick, but because they usually go to visit the father after, they go. The wife is like, "I'm feeling a bit sick. I don't know if I want to go." That man just looks at her.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm nauseous, and now she knew like if she threw up like in the father's house,
It's
it'd
a
be worse.
problem.
So now she's
Yeah.
like, okay, if I stay, just the look in itself, he was also upset. It's like,
It's
okay,
like, what do I
now,
do? So she's
yeah.
like, acha tu nibahatisha, I go see the father. And then they go back home. And then when he's praying, he says, God forgive her. And then after that, he goes and beats her. I was like, hey, this man, this is just so crazy. So, yeah, it's a very well written book. It's inafinya. Vitu
All the
zinafaa
buttons.
kufinya,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yes. Also, moving back to our previous books that we've done this season, is Chimamanda is an author. And I wish I had started reading her books with Purple Hibiscus or the next one that we're going to do on our next time. I feel like this was really well written. The story is so good. Maybe it's because we relate to it and because we are Catholic, but the story was good. I loved how she introduced the characters, nini nini. I loved also how she expressed, that heavy theme of this Jaja, yeah, right? Papa, the heavy theme of Papa being religious and expressing who he is as a person and that hypnosis thing. I thought it was very well written, and I'm also going to give it a 4.95. Imagine. Finally, I'm convinced she has really done a good job with this. I feel it wasn't segmented as many other stories she's done. Exactly what I was telling you in episode, this is 5 for 3, that I could be single-minded. Maybe I would want a story that has this consequence end. And I liked it. I liked this one specifically because it was like that. It's just one way. This is how life is at home. This is how we are going to react because of the trauma. This is how we're going to end up maybe once we are out, etc., etc. But I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
Like I feel like for me, I think just as you said, this was definitely like my very first Chimamanda book, and I agree. I love how the story was written and also how she explained, because I feel like even if you're coming from it not being Catholic, like how she explains the practices, how she explains the mass, like it's those ones where you can feel like her research was properly done, where she can give context, and even in like the tradition and what they need to do and all these things, she's also explained it well, where you're sort of seeing oh, this is what they do. Because I think one of the things that Eugene or Papa used to do a lot is he used to call his dad a pagan, and like the sister was like, no, he's not. He just has different beliefs from you. And I think that's one of those things where just because I don't believe in what you believe in doesn't mean I don't believe in anything. And for him, he was, if you don't believe in what I believe in, then you are wrong. Like he had no space for anybody else. And I also agree with what you said, which is in his head, I think he also genuinely, because majority of the time when he had like his extreme punishments, because he also believed the beating of the wife to him was a punishment because he believed he was righting a wrong. When he put his daughter in a bathtub and poured hot water on her feet.
Fulfilling.
Yeah, number two.
Number two, yeah.
And in his head, he was like, what is it that number two has that you don't? Like, because he had me, I came from struggle, you didn't. I'm working hard to provide everything for you, so I don't understand why you
I'm
could
taking you to the best
possibly
schools,
you could possibly not be number one. And even her, she was like, even in the report card that she was like, you're so intelligent, but for him, he can't. Yes, you're intelligent, but why couldn't your intelligence get you to the number one spot? How can somebody else, like, so even when he was punishing her, punishing the wife, punishing the son, he was crying. Like he had the remorse, like he carried the wife and took her to the hospital. And like he was, in his twisted mind, he did love them, but he created such a toxic environment, such a toxic environment, because so many times when they're sitting having like dinner, and the dad will ask a question, or like he used to have like a factory where they'll have like biscuits and stuff. Kambili used to say, Jaja responded, I wish I'd said that. So that like she always wanted to appease her dad. Like she was always seeking validation from him. And thank God the book went how it went, because if it didn't, the same way he idolized religion is the same way Kambili, I felt, idolized her dad, because she always wanted him to like, good job every single time. And I feel like that was just super toxic.
Yeah, I think there's something I would say in terms of how Chimamanda is writing this story. Two things could be right at the same time. Why? Because Papa is this person who is manipulative. We can see that when his Nani Jaja comes in from I don't know where, and then I think he answers Papa back, and Papa is like, I think he's surprised. And because he's used to sharing is it milk or whatever with the kids, that day he doesn't, because of that kind of response. Yeah. That one thing. Secondly, the GBV with the mom, the throwing of they're called what? The figurines. He's seen as a really bad person. But also why I'm saying two things could be right at the same time is Chimamanda also shows him as this respected person in church. What does he do in church? Like he's very respected.
Like a leader. And
he's a leader.
Like the society.
Yeah. A lot of money. I feel like those people who give a lot of money
get a certain
so you
status.
get a certain,
Yes. Yeah. Which is now what I'm trying to say, that he was a pretty bad person, but also being human is we both have two sides. You could be a really bad person, but also a very good person, right? We cannot always demonize Papa.
Yeah. I don't think he was necessarily a good person. I think
it was money, for sure.
No, I think also his money. If he was broke, I don't think he would have had, or like also like his work, I don't think he would have had so much power, because I feel like he was using religion as a tool. Because the one time that Jaja spoke back is because he'd spent so much time with his cousins to realize that, oh, kumbe, not everyone lives in fear like this. Oh, kumbe, you can actually speak back. Oh, kumbe, like I don't have to be in that state of fear. I don't have to always be number one. I don't have to such things. Because I feel like towards the beginning, the kids to the sister, especially Amaka, who was Kambili and Jaja's cousin, she had so much anger towards them because they were rich. So she'd throw jabs at them like, what do you mean? What do you watch on the TV? What do you listen to on the radio? But she didn't know that these people, like, their TV is decorative. It's just there. You can't watch it unless dad says we're gonna watch it. You know, they had like a schedule in their lives. So like they were like prisoners. So he was using religion in the worst ways, and I feel like that's the worst thing you can do as a parent, because I'm only going because you have told me to, but if you're not there, then I won't go. Like, it's just a lot of fear.
I feel like I don't necessarily, maybe money blew it up, but I feel like the main issue was religion. He was so deep in it. It controlled every thought he had, every move he made, because even him giving back to the society is because the Bible says you need to give back to the society, you need to help people in any. And him punishing again, they said like it's because he believed spare the rod, spoil the child, all these things. So he believed so much that he has to do these things and he's right and it's right. And I think the problem was no one else is wrong. Like that incident you're saying about Jaja is because he refused to receive communion because he said it made his mouth smell. I was like, yeah, because that is how the novel starts, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so we came back. So when I was reading, I was like, yeah. And then when I'm reading, before now I got to the part where I understand why he got that confidence. It was like, hey, mtoto alitaka to be confidence because this man is a tyrant in this house and it's so crazy. And I blame it on religion.
Definitely, religion, 100%.
Yeah.
Because he also, because he didn't even teach. I feel like he put religion down the throat of his kids.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even get the space to like understand it. Yeah. And then he didn't. He sort of tried to separate religion with his language or his culture, and sometimes you'll realize, especially in like an African society, it's merged. So you'll find even the fathers, not all of them would be like Latin and like from Italy and stuff. You'll find like local fathers, but there's a way he treated the local fathers. He looked down when a father like had a whole service in Igbo. He was like, the audacity, like, yeah. So for him, he was like, me niko hapa. It's like, why would you do that? Even when Kambili and the brother, they were staying with the aunt, and like middle of the rosary, they'd sing a song, but it's a song in Igbo. He'd be like, yuck. So he only viewed religion in the eyes of Europeans. Yeah, in the eyes of Europeans, and anything less is just not it. And then even in that, he still had it in his head, because even there's a time during mass, the Igbo father sang a song, a hymn, and he looked at his kids and he was pleased that they were not singing. So like he had such a superiority mindset of, it's like recolonizing your kids and only having them acknowledge English, only having them acknowledge what white fathers say. But when it's the same fathers who educated this other ones, and it's like literally the same mass, but it's just, let's have like in Kenya, we'd have like a Swahili song here and there. He's like, why would you do that? Yeah.
Also, I feel like it was very it was post-colonial times, so it was like hapo tu karibu na post-colonialism, where this Englishman has come, he's introduced this language and these practices, and this man has come and everyone thinks they are superior. So now he worships them, and that is why he feels like anyone who does not worship them is inferior. And then that is what you're saying, like even the kids see him as superior, and so now that cycle continues. And then also
I want to also discuss purple hibiscus as a symbolic flower for this particular book, because Kambili moves to Aunty Ifeoma's, right? And she finds out that she plants purple hibiscus. I don't think it's something that was growing at their home, like even for environment here or anything. But what I would say is it was more symbolic in the sense of, if it wasn't the title of the book, I would not have picked it up. But now because for me, her experience at Aunty Ifeoma has of, oh my God, people could be happy in a family. You know, people can express themselves, but it's not that rigid. It's not even that serious, right? Her breakout from her norm of, I don't know what was that, and then she now falls in love with, not falls in love, like she gets a crush on Father Madi. I feel the symbolism of purple hibiscus was like at the transition to show freedom, breakout from some mental slavery or mental
It was
emancipation.
actually explained.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Nini, the essence of the purple hibiscus, like how it came, it was like an experimental and then like botanical experiment, something of the sort. That's when
it's the red hibiscus.
Yes,
that we all know about.
yeah, that's when they got the purple hibiscus. But also when Aunty Ifeoma, it was like being like sometimes you just need to question, because he when he was explaining, it was like there was a certain leader who you just don't always conform. You need to question, you need to do something. And she was explaining it to Jaja, because I feel like Jaja is the one who even carried the purple hibiscus and was like, no, let's go home with them, because like one of the things was like, I need to be there more for my mom. I felt bittersweet to that whole thing of him wanting to be there for the mom, because sometimes I feel like, especially for boys who have seen their moms being abused, I feel like sometimes they carry the responsibility on their head, where they put it has to be me to protect my mom, when it's supposed to be vice versa, where it's your mom who protects you. And he sort of carried that guilt so much so that he took the blame and went to jail, and all these other things happen when it didn't necessarily have to happen like that. I think he just also wanted to put his stand down and be like, yeah, you've gone through a lot and we've seen it, and there's nothing we could do at the time, but I'm here. Yeah.
It's a bit traumatizing for sure for the kids.
Yeah, and also like it was like also reading how the mom had to grieve the loss of the husband even after he's done all these things to her. I feel like he's dead, yes, but he's still taking something from there. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
now she's mourning him, of course. She has now to learn how to live, believing herself, like trusting her thoughts, trusting her decisions without the fear of this man is going to, or whatever fear was instilled in her head. And now their son is in jail. It was for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it was, I feel like, not too bad because it would have been life or whatever. But yeah, so it was very sad to see. Also, like the boy had to man up and take responsibility for the mom. I also felt the same. I was like, oh my God. So his 3 years paused because he felt like this is the time I can protect us. Just I couldn't protect before, but now this is my chance.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's
Yeah, and
sad,
also
but
like
also
his comparison being that his comparison was to his cousin who was younger and also a boy. He was like, if Obiora, I see how he moves around the house. I see how like he sort of puts an umbrella over Aunty Ifeoma. Even I can do something. And that's when he was like, even I can protect my mother. Like I haven't been doing it, but right now I'm going to
do it for her. Yeah. So it was very nice to see. Also, it gives him some sort of healing. Yeah. Okay. Now I can do this. Now I hope the mom also gets that, because she doesn't feel that now my son has to carry this cross. Because what you're saying before, like the parent is not supposed to protect the kids, not the other way around. So just hoping that she's also able to move on from that and heal from that. And
I feel like the trauma that probably she had experienced even maybe before the kids, maybe is the one that made her be silent throughout.
Yeah.
Not fight back, or even when the figurines fell, like she
was actually really silent. But if you think about it, that's who Kambili was becoming or was at that particular time, because so many times, like even when she was at her cousins and they complimented her hair, it's like she'd be quiet. Like even there's a time like the aunt like pushed back at her, like speak up for yourself, like you just can't always be bullied and everything, especially like teens at that age, you have to really speak up for yourself. Otherwise, people will keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And sometimes kids are not trying to be mean; they're just speaking it as like you are rich. Yeah, you are rich. So like, why are you acting like that? So you have to be the one like, yeah, what you see is not necessarily how it is. So I think because like we saw how Kambili was silenced, or so many things she'd be like, I wish I said that, I wish I said that, but she never really voiced it out. Happened probably longer for the mom. So now the mom, Pole Pole too, she's just like, she became a shell of herself, a shell of herself, a shell of Baka. She's like not saying anything. The only thing she can do is maybe now like crush her kids to hospital, because she knows, because even when the dad severely beat up Kambili, when she was explaining it to Aunty Ifeoma, she was like, he punishes them, but it's never been this bad. So she knows that it happens. So now her only thing that where she'd settled was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for him to finish and then take them to hospital, or like be there for them or nurse them or whatever. But I think like at the deep down, she'd been plotting all along, because she was the one who like
she
poisoned
did.
him. Yeah,
She did. Maybe how come Ifika at that point of, I think now I'm ready to lose, because of also the victim mentality of, oh my God, so I'm gonna kill him and then what? You know, our lives are not gonna be the same. Maybe something happened and she was like, you know what? Whatever, right?
I think the last beating that Kambili got, where they landed in hospital, was just like,
Because you know, she could carry, this is my husband, this is the man I chose. She could bear the beating herself.
Yeah.
But when it gets that
To
bad
the kids,
it's
that's something
you
else
have to
for
draw
sure.
a line.
and then also like the realization that ni kama walifunguka macho huko that week when they were like with the aunts and everything, like was Nani was talking back, Kambili had like a whole photo of your pagan grandfather. I know
that was really expressive.
That goes to say sometimes exposure is very good, because they would never, when you're experiencing something, you don't see it as abuse. Yes, it's weird. Like even the scenario where she's sipping tea, she used to say the tea was hot. So yes, it's being called a love sip. It's a good gesture that he's making them taste the tea before, but it burns. So
but you can't show it.
wow,
Ni mapenzi, father daughter
so
mapenzi.
experience you as a good thing, as a sign of this man loves me. But then ukitoka huku nje, you're seeing what other people are going through. You're like, us huko, we are suffering.
And also like how people perceive you, because even in school, people were like, nani nini wa ukimbia, like so you even like chill and talk to us. So she was giving like bougie, like people are beneath me. Me, I'm all about my books. And then eventually, like even like her schoolmates, they even came to see her in hospital. Like they liked her and they were like, oh, like you're a cool person, Basi, what is it? Like, why are you always running? And it's because like they don't understand by the what I'm going, because it's like in the worlds of wealth, you don't think that people could be going through this this whole thing.
You think
that
money
going
can buy
through.
peace?
So crazy. I feel like these stories of wealthy people who are mean and overly like mmekaziwa sana. I feel like
and also just sick. You just have like sick mentalities, because you just find people are just believing in like weird things.
crazy things. It's bad.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked is how the dad, now Eugene's dad, how he didn't have anger towards his son. He was just like, you don't respect me, I'm not gonna bend down and forcefully join your religion. But like always, like he still referred to him as his son. He still like prayed for him in his religion. Like he still stayed there, and like his main thing was like, I just want to spend time with my grandkids. That's all I want. Like you went, you were changed, but Mimi, I'm still gonna, I still want to, like you're still my son. So like it's like the other people are, even the sister was like, because towards when the dad died, he was like, yeah, is he gonna convert? Is he gonna convert? And it's like, just because somebody has died doesn't mean now suddenly everything about them changes. It's like he was always like, this man was never, and he never wanted to be. So why would we suddenly change for you to be happy?
Like it's a really deep story actually. It's making me feel all sorts of uneasy, because I feel we have certain aspects of that kind of control in our society still, because religion could be a must. If you look at it, it is a must to be that kind of religious. If you're in church, you can be drinking, you can be doing this, you can be talking like this. But then also, the same people who seek that kind of perfection fall so badly in terms of character, in terms of value. They're the same people who mistreat people, they're the same people who are sleeping around with people in church. And you're like, what is it? You know? So I don't know, maybe it is just part of the trade of being a religious person.
Yeah, because there's people who, yes, you're religious, but you're living like a double life where it's fake. And by all means, if that's what you're doing, but I feel like it becomes problematic if now you there's people under your umbrella and you're pushing the same
whole idea,
principles, and same ideas down their throat, and they don't even understand.
Even
they don't
what
even know
exactly
how to
this
communicate.
is,
Because if you're doing it as an individual and you're over here preaching water and drinking wine, by
that's
all
on
means.
you.
I was saying, like, if it's as an individual, it's still problematic, but it's so much better than if you're heading your family like that and you're raising them from a point of, because that's not how religion is supposed to be. Some of these things, punishment is not supposed to be like that. I feel like also you need to allow your children or teach your children how to express themselves, because if you don't have that openness, then there's things that can happen to them that they'll never know how to tell you, and there's things that can happen to them that they'll never know that this is wrong or this is bad. So as a parent especially, I feel like yes, raise yourselves what you feel is best and what they should believe in, and religion is important, but it gets to a point where it should be a choice. You're not going to the church, or you're not praying, or you're not doing this because this is what I was told I need to do. You're doing it because you know what it means, because you believe. Yeah, I think underline, because you believe. Yeah.
That blind following of the religion, really, because it's something that goes on with a majority of the people here. I think because of everyone who is seeking perfection, or you want to look good or whatever, I think it's a major problem, and it being the major highlight of this particular book, and the fact that it was written a long time ago, also comes to show that this is something that is systemic. It's not just coming just right now. It is already there. So that blindness, and I still think of Papa, and I'm like, for sure, what you said, in his mind, he's doing the right thing. You see, but are you really?
Yeah.
Are you really? Who are you as a person beyond religion?
Yeah. Even if you think about it, even in the mind of the dad, like I also believe in something. I am also praying. So even him, he has.
can also
so it's
coexist.
like it's like two step. Just because, like, if you think about it right now, there's so many religions that coexist, but just because you believe in yours doesn't give you the right to put another one down.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't taken time to, because there's people who take time to sit and understand, why do you do this, why do you do that, because like even with like the whole Catholic religion, if you find a curious person, they'll ask to understand, but there's somebody who just wants to ask to prove that that's not it. Yeah, so I think if you're asking to understand and learn, then well and good, but if you're asking just to show, but my religion is
better.
then
Because
achana tu nayo.
who died and came back and told us? No, but so and he was Christian, so anything else is, I don't know. I feel like the thing with religion is it's something that as human beings we all seek something to believe in, and that's the common denominator for every religion. Everything that people who believe in, pagans, they believe in something, and just as human beings we need something to believe in for us to have that hope that all this is not for nothing. Like, we're not just living and then we die. Just having that hope, whatever thing that resonates with you, you have to cling to it. And I think that is now what these people who are selfish have known how to tap into it and take advantage of people for their own gain. So unapata, they come, they like.
And they tell you like Jesus spoke to me yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Can you not? Yeah, those sorts of your husband has been shown to me.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
But now you go to the father because you're not having kids. The Lord has shown we have to sleep.
Yeah, it's like, can you?
Yes,
it's like sometimes
on that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Some people that we
Yeah.
will not
Yeah,
name
because
here.
people are desperate. People are looking for something to cling to believe in. And unaweza pata mtu anashuku, but at the same time uko, but hey, this is a man
Yeah,
of God.
and sometimes it's because you'll say things like, God is showing me you just lost a job, and maybe you did, but maybe your mother told you.
Yeah,
Now it's like you're using that. It's
Or
like,
they're using normal problems.
yeah, or like,
general.
what are the chances you've been sick in like the last 6
Exactly,
months,
exactly.
but like you just healed from a disease, and now I'm being shown your husband. Like, can you shut up?
It's so like some stories you hear about these people, you just like, yeah, these people, they are usually, and most of them are very bright people.
Very,
very
and like
bright.
they understand the Bible in and out. Those ones of
Yeah.
like, even
They
it
know how
says
to
in the book of
manipulate.
they know every single thing. They know how to curb any single argument. So you're the one who's left there questioning yourself, like, yeah, but maybe actually I was coughing yesterday.
Yeah, you know it could be.
Yeah, confirmation bias. You're like, now you said, now you're looking back to confirm what
Yeah.
you're saying is true.
It's true,
And
yeah.
okay, it's not everyone. It's not everyone who is like that. But those ones who are like that, they are extremists. So they make it, so they make it very bad for the people who are. Now tie that to men being worshipped. Just
Imagine patriarchy.
patriarchy.
Oh
and all this.
gosh.
So that is why this man, because I feel like if the roles were reversed, if the man is one who was staunch, most of there wouldn't be abuse.
Yeah,
Okay,
one-
there would
Which
be
is
psychological
relative.
and maybe
I mean, yes.
emotional,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't have been as bad because they were normal. Like growing up, squeezy, at least you can talk back, you can
Have a
I
bone
don't-
and a skin.
Yeah, you can be more so like expressive. Unasema, just because you're older doesn't mean I should respect you. Respect is 2 years. But kitambo, mzee alikuwa ningia hivi kwa nyumba.
Ni hivyo. Mnakimbia
Kama
kulala.
umetoka, yeah. So I guess also we've come from far because I feel like if the same book was written now, it would be it wouldn't be as
However, it still represents the society at the moment because so the thing that I was saying, two things can be right and true at the same time. We could have families that are expressive, but also there are families that are
not expressive,
exactly like
'Cause I
Papa
feel
and
like
Mom.
if I just as you said, like back to the extremists, there's parents who are very keen on like excelling in school, but not as keen as number one in nothing else.
Yeah.
There's somebody
There's
who'd be like, oh, but you
flexibility.
still got an A, great.
yeah.
There's now the panic, or you'd be punished if now you're maybe like a C student. But this dad was like, it's number one or number one only. So like he could not imagine in it, because like what could possibly be like in your way. You are rich, I'm providing everything, this is the best school possible, so what is it that
He doesn't consider that the environment at home is what is making her, because she used to say she'd see blood on her textbooks. Blood,
and this
she'd
and this
taste
and,
blood
and,
on
and this
her
is and this
food.
is like after what the mom went through.
Yeah.
Yes, but like still, me, I survived poverty. I mean, what are you trying to say? So for him, he didn't. I think his biggest problem was it was the best and the best only. Like he didn't have that room of other things. I'm sure this is the type of dad who you can't come and say you want to be a creative.
What?
Like such things. Like, what do you mean you are at home chit-chatting with your friend? Like, come back. It was so insane that he drew them up schedules, even when they went to think about it when you were younger and you went to visit your cousins and you have a schedule at 8 to see what like his insanity was
out of this world. I could comment about Catholicism, being a ex-devout Catholic, but my point here is there's an aspect of perfectionism in our church of me, I receive the Holy Communion, and every time I do something during the week, I'm just going to go for confession on Saturday and I'm a new person, right? So there's that thing of I'm better than many people because I received the Holy Communion. And I stand guided, but I know for a fact that someone, like Papa, for example, in his head would be like, I know Jesus or God is on my side because I am doing what I need to do according to the Bible. If I feel like I bet Mama, I would go back to the priest and say, hey, I think I had someone. Let's just think, because he's human. He could have said that I had someone, and I feel maybe the case of that the Catholic ya kitambo where people used to beat themselves. Remember, you whip yourself because you did a sin. You remember that? There is, in the book of this guy, guys, we will revert. But there is story of Vatican and whatever, and Rome. People used to whoop themselves, like in their houses after you make a mistake. It's the same concept that is now here, which is I'm going to go back to the priest, I'm going to cleanse, Sunday I'm good. So maybe that kind of thinking is what maybe was making Papa think, even if I couldn't be a bad person, God already forgave me, you know? And that's why he's also talking about, can God forgive Mama for, I don't know what. You see, like to him, it's so weird.
I actually disagree with the confession, and I feel like it's an individual thing. Of course, there's people who believe that if I confess, I'm refreshed. But I feel like even outside being Catholic, there's people who have the same mentality. Like if I pray to God, He'll forgive me, and they have that belief of I'm not doing any wrong. It's like they look down at everybody else. I'm perfect, and everybody else is wrong, which is what I feel was wrong with this guy in specific. It's just that he happened to be Catholic. There's people who have that religious hypnosis where they feel like they are more superior or their religion is better, but I don't think it cuts through to like everybody who's under that religion.
It's a general assumption, which could be true or not true, which hence your argument.
Yeah. So I think all in all, for me personally, I'd say, especially for parents, don't raise your kids from a place of fear, but raise them by teaching them this is the word, this is why we believe, this is why this is good, this is bad. But I feel like also they need to have like that expression. You as the parents need to be your kids' safe space.
Yeah.
I also agree because right now I think it's easier for us to have those kinds of conversations with our parents, and that's good because that's what the society requires of us right now. So yeah, for sure, I think the book is timely as well because there's still
Relevant things.
the same.
Yeah,
But for sure, I don't know. I would recommend the book.
definitely,
Totally.
100%. Yeah, we highly recommend, like, interact with